So let us begin by entering into meditation. Entering into meditation means being with what already is. What already is spontaneously to come and see for ourselves what is. No one else can know, no one else can see, no one else can hear, no one else can feel. Only you. Only in this direct experience. Only you as this direct experience. And in the same way that we should not be confused or bothered or upset by disturbances, we should also not be confused or disturbed by a deep allowing of that silence to be loud, to be radiating, to be waving. The mind in the body, the mind as the body, not something to think about through your direct experience. If needed, breathing in deeply, bringing the mind home to the body. But the body is already here. There's no need to apply effort to make the body here. Just allow. When we are lost in thought, whether we're jovial and excited and enjoying, or kind of frustrated and walking around lost in thought, tripping and falling always makes sense. Not to be lost in thought, but to allow the space around thoughts to liquefy the involvement and the identity of thinking. And let that liquefaction of thinking flow out, flow down into the body, into this raw, liquid experience of the body here and now. We anchor into the breathing, we focus on the breathing in meditation because we're a little bit, stupid. Because this body is not about thinking. This mind does not operate on the principles of human constructs of thought, human symbology. So breathe into this liquid experience of breathing, of being. We must take a position of authority, take a position of dominion over your own mind. Take a position of being. This is not to do some kind of passive, relaxing meditation where we light our incense sticks and we light candles and we sing Kumbaya and then we get together and have a discussion. This is to stop the mind, stop the thinking, stop the picking and choosing. And you will have just as good a luck of negotiating with the mind as you will have negotiating with death. So let the mind stop. Let you stop. Let your bullshit stop. And if you can't take it, if you can't do it, if you're too low on the totem pole of relationship with your true mind, then focus on your breathing, get to work. Just because you have a shallow experience of thinking and judging and making up stories and being overwhelmed and being underwhelmed, being constantly intoxicated and flipped around and dizzied in bullshit, in words and phrases and identities, doesn't mean that that's the way we have to be. That doesn't mean that that's what this practice is underneath or under the judgment and discernment of. Relax and release and give up and give away the whole involvement with the body and the mind, the whole identity of the body and the mind and the picking and choosing and thinking. How to give it up. Don't be involved with what you notice. Don't be involved with what is experienced. Cut out all the parasites. Cut out all the superfluous bullshit. Cut out the voices that say, hey, what about this? Hey, what about me? Wow, I agree. Inside of yourself, I like this. I don't like this. What about this? What about that? How? uninvolved, uninterested, unbelieving, uninfatuated, unknowing, ungrasping. Experiencing thoughts without thinking about thoughts. Experiencing the temperature in the room without thinking about the temperature in the room. Experiencing the body without thinking about the body. Go on like this. Continue like this. What is this? Full responsibility for your mind, full responsibility for your body, full responsibility for your life, full responsibility for reality. If you're not willing to have that responsibility, then you better get the fuck out while you still can. Because many of us here don't have a choice. And this choicelessness of allowing, this choicelessness of awareness that does not pick and choose, this settling in to the direct experience of life so that we can meet and overcome death. Just facing, just experiencing, not thinking about things. If you thought about not thinking about things, if you thought about thinking about things and not thinking about things, irrelevant, impersonal, not mine, not yours, not possessed, not owned. Continue. Are we practicing something? Are we training something? Are we developing something? Are we on the way to somewhere? No. We are taking back the right to be in control. To tell the mind, fuck that shit. Fuck suffering. Fuck anxiety. Fuck depression. Fuck weakness. I am in control. Awareness is truth. The animal of seeking and avoiding is tied to a tether and trained in such a way as this. If you're in pain, all the better. If you feel nice, all the better. Just do not perpetuate thinking. Bringing thoughts down to zero. Preventing further thoughts from arising. In our convoluted, drunken, high, disassociated stupor, we all have that power. We all control the mind. We are all the gods of our dominions. We are the true understanders. But if you sit still, you will see how out of control this mind and body are. If you look at your life, you will see how lacking it is in depth and profundity. That's why you go to the alcohol. That's why you're addicted to weed. That's why your relationships with other people are superfluous nonsense. That's why your life is always in a haze. So, stop and see. And if you're lucky, you will have a chance to reflect upon serenity. But first and foremost, cut the shit. Take responsibility for your mind. Take responsibility for your experience. Fight. Sit upright and fight. You are not going to be much of a fighter if you don't know how to be aware, if you don't know how to concentrate. So, if you need to, concentrate on the breathing. Breathing, relaxing, breathing, concentrating. It doesn't matter what the thought is. It doesn't matter how interesting it is, special it is, mysterious it is. At our core, at the core of this seeking and avoiding mind, at the core of this thinking mind, is just pleasure and pain. It's not that special. It's not that deep. So to make it special and deep, you have to cut through preferentiality. You have to cut through the compulsive fixation on what's pleasant, what's unpleasant, what's neutral, and realize and recognize awareness that is non-differentiating, awareness that is not based in picking and choosing. It's not to think of yourself in a special way. How fucking stupid is that? I'm Donald Trump. I'm the President of the United States. This is my house. This is my stuff. Whatever it is to be used only. Your body, your mind, your situation is to be used only without attachment. Attachment is stupid. Trying to attach to that which cannot be attached to, trying to hold on to that which cannot be held on to is stupid. It is ignorant. Trying to put someone's identity into a box is stupid. Our identity, our being is always changing, like a cloud. I see a face in the cloud. Regardless of you seeing a face in the cloud or not, the cloud is by nature impermanent. The cloud is by nature a part of a cycle. It does not exist independently. It has no independent essence. So also you, your identity, your being, has no independent essence. There is no real true person in a real true story. This is not a fucking movie. This is not a fucking anime episode or series. As pleasing or as unpleasing as these movies, TV shows, series, narratives, stories may be, they are not reality. As pleasing and enjoyable and enticing as life may be, life by itself is not reality. Life is itself death. Death is itself life. Being neither bound by birth nor death is nibbana, is freedom, is awareness. This is not about the body. This is not about the mind. This is not about material things or mental things. This is not about names and forms. This is about thinglessness. And of course, thinglessness as a thing is not. So fill in the blank. No. The blank is the filling in. So what is that? What is the blank? What is that which is to be filled in? What is that which has neither space to fill in nor space to be left open? Don't get ahead of yourself. Remember breathing. Stop relying on your thinking. Stop relying on your thoughts. You are not a tribal leader. You are not an elder. You are not a philosopher. You are not a scientist. You are not a doctor in the doctor's office. This is not a time or space to rely upon your thinking. If we're honest with ourselves, most of the time we would probably not have to deal with our thoughts. Most of the time we would rather not think. We would not think what we are thinking. Training in not thinking, training in cultivating thoughts, using the sword to cut thoughts off at the root, using the sword to prevent further thoughts from arising. Practice no thinking, not as an ideal, not as something to aspire to, as an action of cutting, as an action of forgiving, as an action of uninvolvement. If your mind is full of thoughts, you cannot appreciate everything that is already not a thing, everything that is already not based in thoughts. Thoughts are compulsive, like a virus, out of control. We identify with our thoughts, but if we cannot control our thoughts, how can we identify with them? Are you in control of your thoughts, or are your thoughts controlling you? Don't think about it. Be in control. Be aware. Be aware in a way that does not depend on compulsive thinking. How to do that? How to concentrate? How to tame this untamable, out of control mind? Tie it to a stake. Focus on the breathing. And if you cannot do that, exhaust yourself in trying to do that. And if you cannot do that, relax and release the whole body and mind. It doesn't matter what the thought is. Practice to be unconvinced and unbelieving of appearances, in appearances. It doesn't matter what that person says. It doesn't matter what that person thinks or believes. It's not a matter of anything being explained. It's not a matter of being convinced or unconvinced. Just continuously give the irrelevance that for this moment, I will not be defined by thoughts about things, using my eyes to see without conceiving about what is seen, using my ears to hear without thinking about what is heard, using my body to feel without thinking about what is felt. To enter into the vibrational field of direct experiencing, not based on conceptual thoughts. Restructuring our psychology to be based on awareness rather than on thinking, rather than on dualistic objects of thought. Go into the seeing itself, not the thoughts about seeing. Go into the feeling of the breathing, the feeling of the body itself, not the thoughts about feeling. This is not about anyone else. This is not about people's thoughts about things. This is not a conversation, just in the same way that your heart beating is not a conversation about what other people's opinions are, what other people's positions are. This is finding your true position in the direct experience that is not based on intellectual thinking and conceptual paradigms of dualistic thought objects. so that this should not be something that anyone is interested in. It should be a developing of relationship with that which nothing that someone could be interested in. To awaken the wisdom element so that we stop being such phonies, so that we stop being so ill-equipped to make deep, major changes in our lives and in the lives of others. Not that we have to do that, but that we could if we chose to. To shift from a predisposition towards nonstop distracting, self-ideation, and self-disassociation. There is in truth no actual self. There is no dualism. There is no real story. There is no real person to be cultivated or fixed, or to become a Buddha, to become awakened. That doesn't stop us from enjoying TikTok and YouTube. So why should it stop us from meditating, from practicing non-meditation without distraction? Non-distracted, non-meditation. Being, the richness of being, the wealth of being. As time goes by, this kind of wealth will become more rich, more enjoyable, more interesting than even our beloved alcohol, even our beloved cannabis, even our beloved compulsive, complicated thinking. So, let it. Let undistracted non-meditation become more valuable than the best TikTok video that ever was. Let it become more valuable than sexual pleasure. Let it become more valuable than thinking about your traumas. Let it become more valuable than the delicious food to be eaten. Let it become more valuable than thoughts about doing something, going somewhere, and being or not being someone in particular. Not thinking about thoughts, thoughts cease to have ever existed to begin with. This recognition and this realization is a core principle of the wisdom element, the non-existence of that which doesn't exist. Would seem to be easy enough to understand, and yet this habit energy, this compulsion of clinging and grasping onto subtle and coarse thoughts and sensations leads us deeper and deeper and deeper into confusion. Whereas this non-distracted, non-meditation has neither confusion nor clarity. It has no conventions of thoughts. This is what I am concerned with. This is what the community here at the Monk Life Meditation Institute is concerned with. May you be healthy, wealthy, and blessed to continue on this path. E Maho, E Maho. The great, great victory awaits. May we march forward limitlessly and with great determination to final, complete enlightenment. and Nibbana. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. We'll now open the space for questions, sharing experience, and also sharing some Dharma as well. For the uninitiated, it's very important that when you come in here, you stop, you look closely, you listen closely. This is not a platform for discussion between equal parties. This is a Dharma teaching environment. And so please come in here and you can make a bow, you can make a donation, you can practice silence. Don't share your opinion here. Hello?
Hello, Dr. Rob. It's your faithful student, Lee.
Yeah. What can I do for you today, Lee?
I'm just driving to Sydney to my Thich Nhat Hanh New Year's Eve retreat. I'm just having some pretty bad anxiety, and I think it's like my conditioned self is caught up in all this horrific drama of and I've been trying everything. I'd listen to Dharma talks. I've been doing so much work and chanting and all kinds of stuff. And then I just tuned into your live stream as a last resort just about like 5 minutes ago. And everything that you said really like was seeing without thinking about what's seeing and hearing without thinking about what's hearing. Just really like was what I needed to hear, but I just thought I'd give you a call and see if you could, I don't know, give me any advice or something. Please, I just need a little bit of help right now. Just like one thing, anything.
Well, I'm not going to ruin the surprise for you. So keep on driving and enjoy the anxiety. And
Okay.
Merry Christmas. Okay, Lee?
Okay.
All right. Happy New Year's. Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Om Mani Padme Hum. Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. So all offerings are made as an opportunity for you to practice generosity. Any spiritual teacher that you're following. So if you're following a spiritual teacher, that person should be the best equipped to take care for themselves, to live a life of abundancy. You have to understand that. So if the mentality, and of course, you know, it's maybe seems to be convenient for the egos of both parties because you get to equalize. So this, I will support, I will help them financially because they're helping me spiritually. That's transactional. So anyone that you're following a spiritual teacher, they should be very equipped to support themselves without any help from you. Otherwise, why would you be listening to them and following them, right? So it's an opportunity for you to practice generosity, for you to practice self-sacrifice. Just like me showing up here and teaching and sharing live is not some obligation that I have to anybody here. It's an opportunity for me to practice generosity, for me to practice self-sacrifice, for me to practice sadhana. Now go back to being Dr. Rob, the spiritual teacher, and not the objective observer. Daniela Karenina, okay, Monk Life supporter, that's great. Good for you, welcome. Okay, everybody ready? Let's count down together. If you're ready, help me count down, okay? 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. Okay, let's start back at the top, everybody. Let's start at the beginning, okay? Let's count down together. Take a deep breath, concentrate. Let's do this together. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Khám phá 33 bản luận trúng tuyển các đại học được săn đón nhất tại nước Mỹ.
カハンニャハラミタシンギョ漢字財宝作業時般若波羅蜜多事象言語音階空洞一切空役者利子式不意空空不意式式即税空空即税式重創業式役無料税者利子税商法空相不小不滅不空不増不減税航空中無式無重創業式無限に微絶心に無式証拠に即法無限界内し無意識界無無明薬無無明人内し無老死薬無老死人無空襲滅道無知薬無得意無償特攻膨大サッタエハンヤハラミタ更新無形芸無形芸公無空無音に一切天道無足行ね半三税小仏霊ハンヤハラミタ高徳アノクタラ山脈三宝大高地ハンヤハラミタ税大人衆税大名衆税無常衆税無東道衆道場一切空真実不公公説ハンヤハラミタ収束説収圧ギャテギャテハラギャテハラソギャテボジソワカハンヤ信行マカハンヤハラミタ信行漢字財宝作業人ハンヤハラミタ自称言語音階空洞一切空役者利子式不意空空不意式式即税空空即税式重創業式役無料税者利子税商法空相不小不滅不空不上不増不減税航空中無式無重創業式無限に微絶心に無式証拠に即法無限界内し無意識界無無明薬無無明人内し無老死薬無老死人無空襲滅道無知薬無得意無償
Hi there, Shiva. What can I do for you?
Oh, I'm just watching you live. I'm wondering if you're willing to go live with me today.
Well, there's still some, some understanding that I don't quite have about your intentions and what you're doing with your channel and what you're doing with your work.
Right. Makes sense. Okay, then take a few days breather and meditate and get my intentions out of my mind, and then you'll know what my intentions are, and then maybe we can proceed.
Okay. Thank you, Shiva.
Take care.
Okay, great. So let's start with our reading. Concerned with knowing the Dharma. And knowing the Dharma is knowing the path of ending the suffering. Knowing the Dharma is knowing the path of ending the suffering. Thus, we know that if we learn Dharma by holding on to the mind, we become deluded by both the mind and Dharma. And that if we learn Dharma without holding on to the mind, we are awakened by both the mind and Dharma. So the mind doesn't need to be some kind of big complex word or idea. You can understand the mind in terms of thoughts, perceptions, views, our sensibilities. This seems this way, this seems that way. And so what Bodhidharma, the founder of Zen Buddhism, is saying here is, thus, we know that if we learn Dharma by holding on to the mind, we become deluded by both the mind and Dharma. And that if we learn Dharma without holding on to the mind, we are awakened by both the mind and Dharma. All those who are deluded by the notion of awakeness, and those who are awake know it when they are deluded. So the notion or the thought of enlightenment, having someone to be enlightened and there being a thing to have called enlightenment, is itself delusion, is itself learning the Dharma or practicing the Dharma by holding on to the mind. So it says that all those who are deluded by the notion of awakeness, as if there could be something or someone to be awake or something to awake to. And those who are awake know it when they are deluded. So those who are awake know it when they are lost in thoughts, identifying with perceptions, views, understandings, discernments, etc. Those who have the right view know that the mind is void and thus can go beyond delusion and awakeness. Now, we find ourselves in kind of like the modern context as being, a lot of ways, very inhuman. So, for example, back before the times of plastic and paper, plastic bags and technology as such, you wouldn't find a village that was putting their shit in the kitchen. You wouldn't find a community that was in any ways disassociated about their responsibility for their own actions, for their own intentions, and like where they spend their time. Because there was a heaviness, there was an intensity of need that everyone recognized. So I need to go and get water. I need to take care of my children. I need to do everything myself. Kind of a self-resiliency or a self-necessity through practical actions and activities. Now we have a kind of mass hypnosis of disassociation, distraction, and it's this burden of post-scarcity. It's this burden of knowing, even if you are impoverished in the poorest village in India, there's this sense of knowing how much there is actually out there and how much is being hoarded and how much is being wasted, etc. And what this means for modern Western people is that we're kind of lost in the sauce of being a prince or a princess or a king or queen of a castle in a royal lineage that doesn't really exist. So we're skating, or we're living, or our self-identity is based in privileged conditions that we have nothing to do with being responsible for or actually having done the work to create it. So you find this nowadays in a lot of young Western men or young people in general, where there's a sense of already having gone through this rite of passage. There's the old Native American stories of when a young man was entering puberty and going through that process of being a man. He would go out for his spirit journey, his spirit walk. So he would go out into the forest by himself, and he'd have to, kill a bear or kill a wolf, and then come back wearing the wolf skin or the bear skin and kind of come back and be a man, going through this rite of passage and individuation. And so nowadays we are kind of not connected to community. We're not connected to rites of passage. We're not connected to individuation, because there's so much superfluous identity on offer for all of us that we don't really have a responsibility or a sense of our individual presence. And that means that we're at places and we don't know why we're there. And we think that those places are under our discernment. Kind of like when we watch a YouTube video or a TikTok video, and the only thing that we have to decide or do, and we're just there compulsively, and we didn't even choose to be there. It's been chosen for us to be there through this algorithm of watching our predispositions, what we like, what we watch longer, etc. And so the only decision that we have to make is whether we like something or we dislike something. And this is a very disassociated way of being that leads to a lot of incongruency of thinking in relationship to what we're doing. And it makes what's on offer and things that are new and things that are outside the bounds of our predispositions of understanding inaccessible, even though we're there. Even though we seem to be able to access it and make use of it, we can't actually hear what's being said, and we can't use our intuition or our presence, our awareness to discern what's going on, and then what our position or relationship is in relationship to what's going on. So it's very problematic. So here, it's not a discussion, right? We're not having a discussion. We're not having this isn't a dating, I'm not here to find a boyfriend or a girlfriend or, kind of somebody to be my friend and, hang out with and spend time with. This is a Dhamma teaching. And I'm not saying this to build up my ego. I'm just saying, this is what I'm doing here is I'm sharing the Dharma. to help people end their suffering. So please, as much as you can, don't create interpersonal narratives between me and you, and try to listen closely to what's being said and what's being taught. And if you don't want to be here, you don't have to be here, you know. So those who have the right view, and remember, this is the view of not someone, not something. So meditating as not someone, breathing as not someone, being not somewhere. And that's alluding to this directness of experience that we practice in meditation that's not thought-based. That's not based in conceptuality or the intellect or the notion or narrative of the self and all these different things. So those who have the right view know that the mind is void and thus can go beyond delusion and awakeness. Only being without delusion and awakeness can it be named the right understanding or the right view. So this is not actually the dharma in this, the highbrowness of this is that it's not something that you can identify with. So you can't identify with understanding this. Because what is this about? This is about delusion and awakeness. But what is being said here? What is being said here is very clearly that only being without delusion and awakeness can it be named the right understanding or the right view. Without the arising of the mind, material existence is not material existence. Without being aroused by material existence, a thought doesn't become a thought by itself. So, we see a cup with a little bit of coffee left in it. This cup with a little bit of coffee left in it, without the arising of the mind, is not that. Material existence is a name given to that which cannot be named. In truth, in awareness. So the mind itself gives rise to the notion of material existence that is then applied to this form. The mind gives rise to the notion of form that then a name is given to. But this cup has neither name nor form. So without the arising of the mind, material existence is not material existence. Without being aroused by material existence, a thought doesn't become a thought by itself. So this is the interpenetration of thought and material existence. So without material existence, a thought cannot arise. Without a thought, material existence cannot arise. Without either material existence or thought, there is only awareness or original nature, or original unknowing. Thus, we know that material existence and the mind have mutual dependence in arising and extinction. Seeing that existence originates from non-existence and that non-existence exists in existence is the true insight. Those with true insight see everything and nothing. They completely and fully see the 10 directions of space and yet see nothing. Why is that? It is because they see nothing, nothing is seen, and seeing is not seeing. All that ordinary beings see is named erroneous thinking. Only seeing nothing with calmness and extinction can be named the true insight. The mind and the condition are interdependent, and one's seeing is begotten in between. And so if this can do anything for us, as the practitioners, as the sincere people on the path, it can humble us. We're humbled in the face of the Dharma, not because this person is writing to sound smart, or because this person is writing to show off, how deep their mind is, but actually this writing is an action of generosity based in wisdom and compassion. And so we're humbled by the potency, the depth, the profoundness of it. And this Dharma and this teaching is not to be appropriated as I understand this, so I'm going to talk about it, and people are really going to see, wow, I know what I'm talking about, and they're going to want to learn more from me. But rather a matter of invitation to come and see for oneself. So our practice as students with the teacher of Bodhidharma or of the Buddha teachings is interpenetrating here and now. If a thought doesn't arise innerly, there won't be an outer condition. Thus, when both the condition and the mind are pure, only when both the condition and the mind are pure can it be named the true insight. And only when we understand things in this way can it be named the right view. Only when we don't see any Dharma is it named obtaining the way. And only when we don't understand any Dharma is it named understanding Dharma. Why is that? It is because, whether seeing or not seeing, we don't see anything, and whether understanding or not understanding, we don't understand anything. Only the seeing without seeing is called the true insight, and the understanding without understanding is called the great understanding. The right view is not only directly seeing what one sees, but seeing what one doesn't see. The real understanding is not only directly understanding what one understands, but understanding what one doesn't understand. If there is ever any understanding, this is not understanding. Only when there is no understanding is it named the right understanding, for neither understanding nor not understanding is understanding. It is said in a Buddhist sutra, not relinquishing wisdom is named ignorance. If we know that the mind is void, both understanding and not understanding are true. But if we think that the mind is existent, both understanding and not understanding are false. When we understand, Dharma goes after us. When we don't understand, we go after Dharma. If Dharma goes after people, non-Dharma becomes Dharma. But if people go after Dharma, then Dharma becomes non-Dharma. If people go after Dharma, all the Dharma is false. But if Dharma goes after people, then all the Dharma is true. Therefore, holy people neither go after Dharma with their mind, nor go after their mind with Dharma. And they neither go after their mind with the mind, nor go after Dharma with Dharma. Thus, their mind doesn't beget Dharma, and Dharma doesn't beget their mind. And as both their mind and Dharma are extinguished, they are ever in meditation. When the mind of sentient beings begets thoughts, Buddha Dharma is extinguished. And when the mind of sentient beings is extinguished, Buddha Dharma is born. Can we receive that? Can we make a tattoo of that on our heart for a moment? When the mind of sentient beings begets thoughts, Buddha Dharma is extinguished. Buddha phenomena, the awareness phenomena, is extinguished. When the mind of sentient beings begets thoughts, creates thoughts, brings about thoughts, happens thoughts, the Dharma of Buddha, the phenomena of Buddha, is extinguished. And when the mind of sentient beings is extinguished, Buddha Dharma is born. When the mind is aroused, the true Dharma is extinguished. And when the mind is extinguished, the true Dharma is born. One who knows that no Dharma belongs to other Dharmas is one who has obtained the way. One who knows that no Dharma belongs to other Dharmas is one who has obtained the way. No belonging, no possessing, no ownership, no dependence. Nothing depends on anything else. One who knows that the mind doesn't belong to any Dharma is constantly in a site of enlightenment. One who knows that the awareness, the true mind, your mind, my mind, doesn't belong to anything is constantly in a site of enlightenment. When deluded, we have sins. When understanding, we don't. Why is that? It is because the essential nature of sins is empty. When deluded, we see sins without being sinful. When we understand, sins are not sins. Why is that? It is because sins have no place to dwell in. It is said in a Buddhist sutra, no Dharma has an essential nature. Use it faithfully without doubts, for doubts become sins. Why is that? It is because sins are begotten because of doubts. If we understand this, sins and crimes of previous lives are exterminated. When we are deluded, the 6 consciousnesses and the 5 skandhas are dharmas of afflictions of birth and death. When we are awake, the 6 consciousnesses and the 5 skandhas are the dharmas of nirvana with no birth and death. Practitioners that cultivate the way don't seek the way outside. Why is it? It is because they know that the mind is the way, that when we obtained the mind, there is no mind to be obtained, and that when we obtain the way, there is no way to be obtained. All the views of going after the way with the mind are called erroneous views. When we are deluded, there are no Buddhas and Dharmas. When we are awake, there are no Buddhas and Dharmas. Why is it? Being awake in Buddha Dharma, when we practitioners subdue the body, we achieve the way like a branch being snapped off a tree by someone. With this body of karmic retribution, each thought is impermanent. So there are no fixed dharmas, and we just cultivate according with our thoughts. We should neither loathe nor love birth and death, and shouldn't think erroneously in each thought moment. Then, while living, we witness nirvana with remainder. When dead, we enter the realization that all things are beyond birth and decay. If, when our eyes see matter, they are not defiled by matter, and when our ears hear sounds, they are not defiled by sounds, then both are liberation. Should we get another tattoo? If, when our eyes see matter, they are not defiled by matter, and when our ears hear sounds, they are not defiled by sounds, then they both are liberation. When eyes are not attached to matter, they are a gate to meditation. And when ears are not attached to sounds, they are a gate to meditation. In summary, when we see a sight, if we see its essential nature without being attached to its appearance, we are always liberated. If we see the appearances of things, then we are always fettered. When we are not fettered by afflictions, this is liberation, and there are no other kinds of liberation. For people who are good at observing matter, matter doesn't arouse the mind, and the mind doesn't beget matter, which means that both matter and the mind are clean and pure. When we don't have erroneous thinking, each thought is one land of Buddhas. When we have erroneous thinking, each thought is one hell. So I want to look at this. I want to work with this. Let's put the text away. I know that that's a very serious, very deep text, and I'm not trying to represent myself as being fully equipped to discuss all elements of it. But what we find is something very similar to the teachings of the Bahia Sutta, and it's a core principle and practice of how we train the mind here, our mind training work here in the Monk Life Meditation Institute. Thank you, Daiwai. And that is precisely to see without conceiving about what is seen. To see me without thinking about me. So Dharma, lowercase d, means phenomena. Dharma, capital case D, means Buddha teaching, Buddha Dharma. So, it doesn't take a brain scientist. We do not have to have a particularly high IQ to understand about this. And the arousal of the mind is the conceiving about phenomena. You understand? So the body is a phenomena. The mind is a phenomena. Name and form are just phenomena. Nama phenomena, rupa phenomena. And then there's awareness or original nature. So what this practice, what this training of the non-arousal of the mind, the training of non-arousal of the mind, right, is exploitative in nature. So to practice is to exploit. To practice is to exploit. Meaning that seeing is taking place, that the conditions of your life, my life, this human body at this moment, seeing is taking place, hearing is taking place, feeling is taking place, sometimes thinking is even taking place. So instead of going along with the arousal of the mind or the arousal of involvement, okay, so we could say the mind in terms of mentality, we could say the mind in terms of habit of grasping. They have all these words, but you're gonna have to be very flexible. So even in Dharma, lowercase d Dharma, phenomena, and then capital case D Dharma in Buddha Dharma, Buddha teaching, one of the words that was brought up in this text was Buddha Dharma with a lowercase d. So the work and the primary training method and meditation method that we work with here in the Monk Life Meditation Institute, I guess it's samatha vipassana, but is a kind of seeing without conceiving about what is seen, hearing without conceiving about what is heard, thinking taking place without thinking about what is thought. So this is the mind training of non-arousal. No, material existence is materiality, nama, or rupa. And then rupa is the name, the mentality. So materiality and mentality, name and form, coming from original nature. So this doesn't have a name. A name is given to it. A mentality is given to it. But this doesn't have mentality. And mentality doesn't have mentality without this. So it's transcendental in nature. So materiality and mentality depend on one another. The mind that is currently aroused, the self that is currently aroused, whether physically or mentally, is interdependent with everything besides itself. Actually, it doesn't have any intrinsic nature, but in the sense that it does have intrinsic nature, it's a transcendental now phenomena, let's say. And the now is a timeless impermanence. So in this timeless impermanence, just as much as this body here relies upon the sun also relies upon this body. So that is the transcendental kind of 5D holosphere immediacy of original nature that is not body or mind dependent. That there are no actual separate essences to talk about. There's no things actually at all. But in terms of things, you would have the original nature or awareness as the primordial thingless thing, which of course doesn't make any sense, and then you would have name and form, or mentality and materiality, that depend on one another, that inter-are. No. It doesn't have characteristics. So characteristics seem to be alluding to specificism. But characteristics are actually getting farther and farther away from the specificism of reality. So specificism is kind of a cope. Specificism is like a trick. Like an illusion. In the same way that appearances are like illusions. Because there's no thing to be specific about. It's like trying to figure out the specifics of a dream. It never ends. It's like trying to find the specifics of a Mandelbrot prompt, which is kind of like an infinite fractal dimensional space. And it's not intellectual. It's not intellectual at all. The intellect has no reach. Suffice to say that it is not a thing, and as that you thingify it, you will get farther and farther away from it. So do not thingify it. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Yeah, also a thought. Good.
Thought you're so proud of. When you come here, you're still doing the same thing. Oh, this is wrong. Okay? See how subtle it is? If that's the case, you keep on falling into the same trap over and over again. And if you do that, your progress is so slow, so little. And you know what? You're going to progress a little bit, and then you go back to right and wrong. As soon as you're done with the chi, you go back and say, this is wrong, this is so right, this is so wrong. It's nonsense. Because when you focus, you catch those thoughts that they are repetitive. That's when you need to stop them. It's not a perfect world, folks. We live in an imperfect world. We live in an impure world. What we try to wrestle for is the ability to control a certain time period where we're free from these false thoughts. If you can do that, you are a superior human being. That's all it takes. You don't need to be 100% because it's not possible for you to be 100%. If you're 100% free from all false thoughts, you are a saint. You have no business being here. This is the problem in all these Asian training. They give you these false, they lead you into these false beliefs that about perfection, about these processes, without really explaining to you about cultivation. So is that a deal? When you cultivate, okay, this week, okay, you recite Buddha's name, and false thoughts will arise. That's why I explain, I train, I want to learn. I first want to learn how Master Hsuan teaches his disciples, taught his disciples. This is a long time ago, in all fairness to him, okay? But this is still not concrete enough, specific enough for you. You're confused. You keep on saying false thinking is bad. No, it's not necessarily bad. Okay? So for your training, just focus on the repetitive thoughts. And you are the first one that I taught you this Dharma door. This has never been taught before. Because this is what makes the Asian disciples who practice Pure think they understand, they know everything, because they don't understand at all. It's not the way you think. So he talked about Ling Chu here, whatever the thing here. It's very, very dangerous thing to talk about. It brings it opens a new can of worms. We're not even there yet, and yet we spend an hour already talking about this. Okay, so specifics. The next week here, the next 6 days, 7 days, you recite the Buddha's name and you focus on spotting the repetitive thoughts, the same nature of thoughts. I just gave you an example. Some people are so righteous, and many of you are so self-righteous. You say, this is so wrong. And you're not wrong. You're so right. But that's still a false thought. And exactly because you're so right that you cannot open your wisdom. You're so right, you cannot recite the Buddha's name properly. And I've seen so many people so stuck on righteousness, especially the Catholics. That's why they don't cultivate, they don't have intensive cultivation like this. Periods like this, you need to learn differently, train differently. Yes, too.
Master, just to clarify, when we recognize we have repetitive thoughts, what do we do just to bring us back to reciting Buddha's name, or do we do something else?
You recognize that you have these repetitive thoughts about the same thing. So what is the cause of that? If you keep on reciting Buddha's name, okay, and you recognize, that's a thought again, that thought again, that thought again, okay, eventually you recognize that thought, okay, and you know you don't want it, okay, that's when you have to naturally think. When you're not reciting the Buddha's name, when you're eating, when you go in the bathroom, you say, I have these thoughts arising. I'm not reciting the Buddha's name now, but, right, I'm brushing my teeth. I don't need to recite Buddha's name. I'm teaching you differently. The Chinese, they teach you recite Buddha's name, or when you're brushing teeth, when you're doing dishes, recite Buddha's name, that's fine, okay? But when you do those things, okay, and you remember, I keep on having these thoughts, for example, righteousness. She's so right. Master is so right. She's so wrong, and so forth. This is terrible. How can these American practice cultivate like this, and so forth? It's always right and wrong, right and wrong, right and wrong, constantly. Okay? And you see, wow, when I recite Buddha's name, that's what I do as well. And that's what prevents me from reciting Buddha's name single-mindedly. Now, this is undesirable. You cannot just grab everything undesirable. Of course, everything is undesirable. But focus on the ones that are stopping you, that really are weighing heavy on you, that prevent you. Okay? If you can handle these frequent false thoughts of the same type, now all of a sudden you have these clearings in the forest. You squash these false thoughts, okay? Don't allow them to arise. That's a clearing of the forest. Otherwise, you'll be lost in the forest. You still are lost in the forest. At least now you're creating clearings where you'll be free. It's all up to you. I can't do it for you. You have to do it yourself. No one else can do it for you. You see, this is so critical. This is why when you realize you have these false thoughts, okay, about the same thing over and over again, let me bring it a step further for you. Some of my disciples, left home people, they realize they have these false thoughts, okay? But then, knowing it's undesirable, they cover it up, they pretend. No one knows. It's me. I'm the only one who was aware of this. What's the big deal? No one else knows. So what they're doing, they're nurturing these false thoughts. Let me ask you, who's getting hurt here? You live your life pretending, getting by as long as no one notices, as long no one knows. Who are you hurting? It's okay, Master doesn't know. It should be okay, I won't get in trouble. You think I live my life trying to get you into trouble? What about you? You have to live with yourself. Stop blaming others for your problems. You cause your own problems. So, in order for you to look at these repetitive things, next step is that you need to be truthful. When I use the word manipulative, it's very bad for you. Trust me. Because what it means is that you're manipulating yourself, no one else. It's okay. You live your life. I'm only reminding you during these periods, be true. That's what the word true here refers to. It's not a true where you're selfish and so forth. That's baby stuff. True here is I want you to look at yourself. Are you fooling yourself or not? Are you hoping that no one will notice? Go ahead, JMT.
마스터, 생각은 자르면 되는데, 생각에 수반되는, 그러니까 생각의 흔적, 이모션도 생각처럼 바로 자를 수 있는 건지 질문드립니다. 네.
Master? Hi, Master. I understand cutting out the thoughts. How about the emotions involved with these thoughts? Is it possible to cut out that emotion? Thank you.
Okay, so step number 2, you need to be truthful. You're not truthful by nature. Don't go any further. I want to teach you how to fool yourself. So assuming that you're truthful, you're not trying to manipulate others in your daily life. It comes, if you're manipulative during the day, okay, when you cultivate, you also will manipulate yourself as well. That's why you can't cultivate. You cultivate when you're getting nowhere. You're only fooling yourselves. It catches up with you. I gave an example of where number 2 is going to stop you cold turkey. Another example for you. I just gave you an example, someone who's righteous. Some of you have this huge problem. Actually, many of you have this huge problem. You're so righteous about it. Okay? Another example that's also very commonplace. You're looking for approval. Approval from others. Can you translate that into saving face? You're afraid to look bad? That's a source of these false thoughts as well. And you keep on going back to it time and time again. And give an example of what that looks like to you. Oops, as long Master doesn't know, I'm okay. Oops, if no one knows, it's not a problem. Again, you're fooling yourself. You're untrue to yourself. You don't dare look at yourself. You're constantly looking for approval. Hoping to look good. So you pretend that you don't have a flaw, you don't have a problem, because you're afraid to look at it. This is when you cultivate, it shows up. Yes, 5.
Master, you mentioned many times recently being true to yourself. Is that the same as being honest?
You have to face yourself, who you really are. You have to be honest about yourself. Honest, when the people use the word honest, is that they have to be honest to others. Tell me the truth. I'm teaching you about honest, about looking at who you really are, how you really behave, what you really want. That's the naked truth about you. Those of you who are able to do that will make progress very quickly. Those of you who may be practicing under Master Shinho, like my generation, for 30, 40 years, when you get to the point where I am the successor to this great master, when they're stuck on that, they're stopping themselves. I'm telling you that not to criticize them, to remind you when your time comes. Don't make the same mistake. I'm teaching you to stand on your own. Questions, comments? Yes, too.
Master, after we recognize and be true and face it, how do we eliminate and create clearance of those false thoughts?
Step number 3, now you recognize it and you're not fooling yourself because, let me remind you, don't go any further. You fool yourself, meaning that you don't dare look at it. Oh, no. It's no point in going there. No one knows. This is my private space. No one knows. If that's how you live your life, okay, you simply are fooling yourselves. Then, when you are truly cognizant of that problem, you truly are not trying to disguise it, you're not in denial, self-denial, then naturally you say, this is not what I want. And you can stop it. That's all. This is why I don't teach people. As soon as I deem someone manipulative, I don't teach them. Because they cannot get to number 3. As soon as you get to number 2, no, Master, you don't understand me. I'm not like that. That's why I go, okay. I touch you and say, oh, it tickles. Then I back off. You're the one who's stopping yourself. Because when you're able to look at what really drives you to have those thoughts, it's your naked truth that you need to face. You cannot blame others. Why? Is that I'm constantly seeking for someone else's approval. What's the matter with me? I better stop it. I'm better than this. If you want to continue to live your life like that, it's your right. Don't blame others. You choose to live like this. Whose fault is it? You think no one knows? As long as you get away with it, no one knows. It's okay. You're deceiving others. Well, actually, you're deceiving yourself first. This is a moment when you see it yourself. I'm deceiving myself. I'm hurting myself. Yes, I gain a word of praise, a look of approval of someone else's, but it comes at the cost of me deceiving myself. That's called cultivation. When you're out of this temple, Go back to a normal life. Nothing wrong with that. We all have our obligations, all have our commitments. But when you're here, do yourself a favor. Look at your true self. That's all you have to do. Go first.
Hello, Master. I have one question. So I usually take things for granted. So how do we build gratitude?
I'm sorry, repeat that.
So I usually take things for granted. How do we try to build gratitude?
How do we what?
Gratitude towards other people or...
What? Gratitude. I heard it's gravity. Sorry, I have hearing issues here. I say, what? Gravity towards other people? I'm not sure I want to go there. Okay, gratitude. Okay. This is a hard one. I have no idea because gratitude is not my forte, nor gravity. Oh. You take things for granted. That's because you're spoiled. You are a spoiled brat. Okay, you expect to give me. And that's the attitude you have. People around you spoil you. I take care of you, you're so adorable. It's okay, everything is okay, you can do no wrong. They make you feel better, make you feel special. And why do you need to feel gratitude? There's no need for gratitude. You deserve it. So, not a problem when you ask me. Anyone has any suggestions? This is a problem with babies. This is how you raise babies. They never grow up. Yes, 5.
She's just having a great life. If you really suffered, after that suffering period, like every day is better than that, then you will be naturally grateful.
Sound like someone who really suffered. Okay, anyone else has any brilliant ideas on how to deal with these people who take things for granted? Yes, one.
Thank you, Master. In the past, I did a little bit of volunteering in a soup kitchen, and that helped me to be grateful with what I had.
Why?
Because I saw a lot of people that didn't have anything, so it kind of helped.
See, the Europeans, they talk like that. We have to fill in the blanks. I had to work in the soup kitchen, and it helped me become more grateful. Okay. This is why American English and Chan have a lot in common. We spell out everything so that others don't have to fill in the blanks. Because filling in the blanks, okay, for a lot of cultures, such as Asian culture and European cultures, is subtlety. We understand each other, but that causes a problem for us people who cultivate. What problem? We have to fill in the blanks, meaning we have to think. Got that? To learn to communicate. I don't care you're Asian or European or whoever, okay? Spell it out for everyone. Okay? Thank you. All right. Yeah, a lot of people don't have a lot of stuff, so you should be more grateful. So go work in soup kitchen, there you go. Anyone else? That will help you become more grateful. Yeah? Is that the question or the answer from JMT?
제 코멘트는 아니고 감사를 모르는 거는 복이 부족하다고 예전에 마스터 X씨께서 알려주셨어요. 참고했으면 좋겠어요. 산호세 people.
The person from San Jose, a lack of grateful, that mind is, once Master told us that was a lack of blessings.
Okay, I want you to know, Jumi, that most people in San Jose are grateful. Okay? Don't think less of the rest of us. Anyone else? Yes, too.
I used to also take a lot of things for granted because, like Master said, people around me spoil me, right? They like me and I take everything for granted. Then one day I met people who really do not like me, torture me, abuse me, bully me. And then life taught me a lesson, don't take for granted. And it's like people, they don't have to like you, they don't have to help you, they don't have to give you anything. So once I start meet people again like me, I appreciate them a lot more. I don't know how that will help you change your mindset, but at some point you will meet people who will not spoil you, and life will teach you a lesson to realize the reality is that no one own us anything, and everything they give us is a gift.
Yes, a lesson in gravity. Yes, Wei Mao.
Oh, thank you, Master. I was going to suggest, if you take a lot of things for granted, start practicing showing gratitude for a simple thing. For instance, I'm going to take a wild guess. In San Jose, you might go get pho. Right? Like you go to a restaurant, you get pho. When you try the pho, like look at the waiter or the person who served you, and not like in a creepy way, but just like in a normal way, and just like make eye contact and say, "Wow, that's like really good. Thank you." And then you practice gratitude.
Americans are too subtle. So, but let me paraphrase him. He says, small things, the smallest things, learn to appreciate the smallest things that others do for you, give you. Don't look for big things, for small. I think that's his point. Okay, very American. Yes, JC.
아주 미국적인 거야. 돌아서는 보세요.
네, 계속 주다 보면은 감사함을 좀 더 느낄 수 있을 것 같습니다. 저도 회사 다녔을 때는 그 친구들이 외국 나갔다 오면서 선물을 많이 사왔었는데 그때 받을 때는 그냥 당연하게 받았었거든요. 근데 제가 막상 나가서 다른 사람들 걸 챙기려고 하다 보니까 얼마나 힘들었는지를 알았고, 그래서 뭔가를 챙겨주고 한다는 거에 대해서 감사함을 그때 좀 알게 됐습니다. 그래서 계속해서 주다 보면은 그 감사함을 좀 더 잘 알게 되지 않을까 싶습니다.
Master, I think learning about this appreciation is coming from giving. Just give and give. I remember working in a company, I received gifts from my friends who were visiting other countries. At the time, I just received their gift. But then it became my turn when I travel other foreign countries, and I try to get gift for them. And I realized it was not an easy thing. So I think we started from giving.
Very good. All right. That works. Yes, Wei Mountain. Yes, Wei Mountain.
Master, I think maybe we can try our best when we contribute. So that's a way of showing our gratitude too.
Okay, very good. And next one. That's it? GF?
Hello? Master, maybe if we try to help others, we can become grateful because maybe we're blessed, but when we try to help people who have different situations, then we see maybe how blessed we are. And yeah. Like at Costco, I recently felt grateful when I helped new employees, and I just realized, it made me realize how good of a job I have.
Yeah, okay. You're looking for a good job, you know where to go. Yes, too.
I feel if you cultivate, you will naturally be more grateful. Like what she's doing, she's already being more grateful than before.
Very good.
And then a lot of that is also you suffer. You go through the suffering when you cultivate. That helps you be more grateful.
Not good advertising for cultivation, but it's a good point. Yes, I agree. Yes, Wei Mao.
So Master, what I know about this is we have to suffer. Like when you're thirsty a lot and somebody gives you a bottle of water, that's when you're gonna become gratitude. They become more thankful. But you have to suffer. And somebody give you something in the time in need, gradually you will become more grateful. But the thing that you don't need and people just give it to you, naturally you're not thinking of it important.
Okay, that works. Yes, JC.
저는 일부러 괴로움을 만듭니다. 어떻게 하냐면 아침에 일어나서 세수를 하다가 물속에 얼굴을 딱 받고 있으면 너무 숨을 참기 힘든 순간이 옵니다. 그러면 그때 딱 내가 이렇게 숨을 쉴 수 있는 것만으로도 너무 감사합니다.
Master, I purposely create suffering to myself. For example, in the morning, I wash my face. I submerge my entire face into the water.
That's a lot of suffering.
그거는 굉장한 괴로움이다. And then I realize I can't breathe. And then after that, I appreciate.
I like this woman. Such a good life, yeah. Everything can be so easily solved. Yes, go for us.
Thank you, Master. What I think we should do, but I can't say for other people, for myself, I just look, it's very close everywhere around us. We can see people suffering. For example, the other day I have a delivery with a patient. My patient delivered the baby, beautiful baby, but then right after that, I have a dad with 3 other kids. The kid was like 1.5, and then 2.5, and then 4.5 kids surrounding the baby with the newborn. And at the end, the dad have to bring the other children home, but he doesn't have a car. So 9 p.m., he had to take all his children in a bus. At the bus for him to take home, it's probably by the time he get home, it would be 1 a.m. to take that. So seeing people suffering outside, and then what we have to be grateful what we have. And in that situation, what I did was I reach out and I say, with the voucher that we have, we don't have to give it to patient. We can give it to family too. But unfortunately, when I call for the voucher, the taxi that I asked for them, they don't have a car seat. So I ended up asking him that then, is there people that normally can drive you that have car seat? He said, normally I don't have car seat because I don't have a car. So everywhere I go, I push all my children in my stroller and I carry them. So he was able to find some taxi that have car seat, and then we are able to pay that for him. Thank you, Master.
Very good examples. Anyone else? Good advices. Okay. Are you happy with all these advices? The little one, young one? Yes, Wei Mao.
Hello, Amitabha. I just got to share two ways. One is if you could think about, obviously you're getting lots of good stuff from the people around you. Think about whoever gives things to you die. What happened if that person die? You will appreciate. That's one way.
Yeah. Depth. Very original. Okay. What's the number two?
Number two is a lot of time we don't think, but when we buy stuff, like we get lots of cheap stuff from restaurant or anywhere we go buy Amazon shopping, the people work really hard. They are often overworked and work like not even human. So it's a lot of suffering.
Okay, very good. Okay. Yes, too.
I have a question on the previous topic, if it's okay to continue or
On what?
later. On the previous subject.
No, let me finish it. This is very complicated. I'm losing control of all these discussions here. Such great ideas. I forgot what I wanted to tell her. All right, Xin, you have anything to add? No? She's relaxing. She said, hey, Master, I'm taking a break. Okay, Master has to go to work then. Okay. Good advices. I'm sure that she can put them to use. If you ask for my perspective, okay, should I be nice or should I be... It's not really my fault, you know. If you ask me, I don't have to be nice. Here's a problem as I see it. Your observations are very good. She has gratitude. Okay, she pretends not to have gratitude. She's asking, how can I be more grateful? That's what I'm hearing. Didn't expect this, did she? She is a grateful person, actually. She has a good heart, and when you do something nice to her, I know her. So she has gratitude. So for her to say that how can I be more grateful is what really she wants to. But here's a problem. Here's what's stopping her from becoming more grateful. She likes it. She likes to be babied. When you like to be babied, it's hard to be grateful. Because I'm a baby. Give me more. Mommy, more. How are you going to be grateful if you want to keep on asking for more? Do I read it right? Okay, so bottom line, It's no gratitude issue here. It's this baby issue. She likes it too much. Her entire life, mommy babies her, sis babies her, boyfriends baby her, and she likes it. She says, baby me, baby me, baby me. So for you men out there who are looking for a girlfriend who wants to be babied, and some men like it, you know. So, okay, I hope I answered the question. There's no gratitude issue. It's just that baby me first. All right, was there a question here?
Master, you said before the step number 3 is to see who really are, who you really are, and then naturally you can.
If you want it, you keep on doing it. If you want to be babied, keep getting babied. That's all.
That's related.
You don't want people to know. You want other people to approve of you and like you, like your false facade and your untrue self, your pretenses. Keep doing it, and then when you meditate, these thoughts will keep on arising, and that's life. That's your choice.
So it's not that easy, right? It's also a process. Because
what is not easy? You pinpoint the problem, you say, this is my problem. And you say, I'm going to live with this or not? And you say, okay, I'll live with it. Then there's no problem. Then don't whine about when you meditate and why these thoughts keep on arising. Because you choose to be that way. No one forced you. You don't come to me and say, I have these issues. Just like the baby girls, baby me, but I'm not grateful enough when people baby me. You like it, you don't want to be grateful.
So is that we're not getting the deeper part of it, or if we get deep enough, we will be more
think about it. I'm not going to answer some more. Anyone else? Yes, too.
Master, can we just use one example, like say, like I do like being right, and I do like people approve me, and
No.
And if I look into that and I realize that kind of validates my existence and it makes me feel good about myself and it makes me feel safer, but I'm just trying to go through the process with you to address one question. Like, if I look at myself, I don't need it. I am who I am without all these good feeling. I can live without any of that. What I'm saying is like, is that how I can look into that and drop it?
No. You're a fool. You live like that. It's not that simple. It's okay to want approval. See, I contradict myself all the time. You listen to me long enough, eventually I will contradict myself. I just told you, why do you keep on seeking for approval? But not all approvals are bad. I seek for approval myself from people who are better than me. Not in a sense I do anything to get their approval, in a sense that, do I meet their standards? Do I meet their expectations? If I meet the expectations, I meet their standards, I don't need their approval anymore. So indirectly, I'm seeking their approval, but only indirectly. But when we talk about seeking approval, is that we need to have someone these explicit words or acts that make us feel good. It's unhealthy approval. But of course, we want approval from people who have wisdom, who are much better than us. Okay? It motivates us to strive harder, to reach higher. That's a very healthy thing. To get approval blindly from everyone, that's sick. It's sad. You're so weak, you constantly need approval and reinforcement that people like you. That's not a life. They're living in delusions. The same people who give you approval will give you disapproval instantaneously as well. Yes?
Master, can I just clarify this? Let's say like I get a approval from you. Instead of feeling special or feeling, like a Master likes me, what I should look at is like, I actually did something right. My standards meets Master's standards. I'm doing the right thing. Just keep doing that. Versus, create a lot of false thinking between the two.
Okay, for all of you who are not here, I need to clarify it. I don't give approvals. Okay? When you do it right, you know it's right, and you feel good about yourself. You don't need my approval. And what did I teach you about that? Mỹ Dân. In Vietnam, Damador. This Vietnamese woman doesn't get a Mỹ Dân. Entrapment, confusing the people. Making them feel good about themselves. There's no need for that. The most excellent good feeling about yourself is when you free of all that, and you meditate, and you recite Buddha's name. That feeling is so nice, so much nicer than anyone's approval. I assure you. Okay? All right. Any other questions and comments? You're stuck on the first slide. This is how it's going to be. First of all, good discussion, everyone. I appreciate your input. I see so much wisdom to go around. I'm so proud of you. Okay? Very good. Keep it up. And we can stop here tonight, and we'll keep up the good work. Okay.
Awareness is inherently beyond complexity. Perfection dawns when we simply abide in the Dharmakaya, the ground of being. There is no true condition to be realized by paying attention to the contents that appear in the mind. Thinking, praying, and formulating opinions are all activities of the intellect. No matter the energies in play, once there is familiarization with the nature of the mind, there is liberation. Reading leads to understanding. True comprehension communicates to us the reality of Dharmakaya in an instant. The knowledge we have is obscured by our ignorance. Use the lamp of wisdom to dispel these obscurations. Subject-object thinking is an iron chain that shackles the spirit. Apply the key of wisdom to be free of such chains. Grasping at flawed ideas is a habitual disorder. Apply the remedy of wisdom to be free of this illness. We waste our time in generalized opinions, but do not recognize the truth of our being. I request you to teach yourself the sudden recognition of your true nature. Wisdom is a higher seeing. Do not get dragged down into the obscurity of a meditation which is overly passive. Using the lamp of words, reveal the pure gold of the true meaning. The noble instructions which lead to a true understanding of these matters ties together word and right understanding simultaneously. To read the words of the victorious ones is to arrive at right understanding. The path of liberation has 4 elements: the view, the meditation, the practice, and the outcome. I will teach you how it is that we dissolve into the ground of being. There is a certain way that we experience our existence on the Dharmakaya plane. It is like this. The awareness is clear. We do not reflect on it. Although we merge, we are not confused. There is no clinging to the sense of existing as a separate self. We are inseparable from Source, but not blended. There is openness, but not to any extreme. We transcend all extremes and identify with no fixed position. We are beyond sorrow and joy, but the blissful flow is unimpeded. We are past hope and fear. Naturally and effortlessly realized, not by seeking or striving, and not through dependence on anyone else. Our delusions have disappeared, making return to samsara impossible. I will teach you firstly how to exist identically with the ground of being, and you will recognize that this is the mode of existence of all that is, all the way to final attainment. The ground is an undifferentiated mode of existence, a self-originating continuum of being, where there is no beginning point and no prior or subsequent reference points. Nothing good or bad exists to accept or reject. There is no boundary or center, no point of reference or preference. This is our original state of being, uncomplicated, beyond comprehension, delusion, or knowledge. Our unique characteristics are not yet manifest. There is no good or bad in the non-dual equanimity of the Dharmakaya, and no truth, untruth, being or non-being, nor ideas, nor individualized minds. Our existence on this plane is formless and clear like the sky. There is no appearance or emptiness, permanence or impermanence, singularity or duality, liking or disliking. Thus, there is no such thing as grasping for reference points or opposites. Unfabricated, it is the ground of all. Self-generated, spontaneously self-realized, it is the source of all. It is the undefiled heart essence in all, the all-inclusive purpose of all, and abides beyond all. Here, there is no experience and no non-experience. No application or non-application. No emptiness or non-emptiness. And no point in seeking any of it. The immaterial heart essence within us all is the ground of all and transcends craving and non-craving, actions and actors. It is beyond change and beyond conditions which could be susceptible to change. It cannot be something seen by our way of seeing. To abide non-contrivedly within our own being is bodhicitta, naturally self-realized, a storehouse of all that is precious. Ignorance of our true nature propels us into the samsaric realm of fixation on evanescent forms. The vision of the ground is the significance of all the appearances that arise from it. Always remember this. When we see our authentic core, we become living expressions of who we are in the truth of our being. The ground of being is not a subject that we can investigate or analyze. It is called the utterly clear purity of the domain of the enlightened ones. And it is borderless, having no center, no beneath, and no above. It is directionless, boundless, having no limit whatsoever to its vastness, and no complication. It is changeless spaciousness, ineffably pristine, uncreated, uncontrived, beyond the limits of blame or praise, uncorrupt, beyond faults or flaws, uncaused, unconditioned, unrivaled, not prone to change, and free of defilements of any sort. It is the essential meaning of all dharmas, whether samsaric or nirvanic. Emerging from the domain of our wisdom, it is not lacking awareness, but beyond extremes. It is all-pervading wisdom held within our awareness.
Okay, so hello everyone, and welcome back for a little bit of a recap of what we've practiced today, what we've worked through today. We started with a guided meditation practice. We moved into receiving some teachings and commentary from Zen Master Bodhidharma, the founder of Zen Buddhism. We listened to a live Dharma talk from Master Yong Hua over in California, who's in the first day of his, I believe it's a winter Amitabha retreat, so a winter Buddha recitation retreat. And then we just listened to about 20 minutes of a Dzogchen teaching read by Samaneri Jayasara, and that is a teaching from Garab Dorje on the clear meaning Tantra that was compiled by Yeshe Donden. So at this point, I'd like to open up the space for all members of our community. If anyone would like to share or ask any questions, you're also invited to call in on WhatsApp if you like. If you have some questions or looking to get some support and advice, you're welcome to call in, and just general questions and sharing. In terms of any update on my life, there's no update. Being in the way and refreshing and restarting. Try not to make too many big mistakes during the day. Take a rest and wake up. And of course, it's good to be taking care and concerned with your mental and physical health and social health. Maybe you have some responsibilities. But I would say the most important thing for me is to wake up and somehow to be concerned with the Buddha, the Dhamma, and the Sangha, and doing good deeds in that way. So this is the expression of that, which is the Monk Life Meditation community in our live teachings and courses and work that we do here together. You can also try, if you like, you can try to have a beer. You can try to drink some alcohol. I wouldn't recommend that you try to smoke any weed. But if alcohol and beer or wine or what have you is a big part of your life, I would invite you to maybe try not doing that. And the same with overeating. You know, you're certainly welcome to gorge on the best food that you can get your hands on. But if you're very familiar with that, and that's very usual for you, with a little bit of presence or extra attention, you may find that you eat compulsively. And eating compulsively is a great space to practice, you know, maybe not eating a little bit, not eating for a while. You know, and just feel that sense of hunger. And maybe don't let it drive you or control you fully or totally. Not an unpopular question. How to detach? Well, how to run a marathon? You have to train, you have to practice. So as much as you have the good conditions of a healthy body and a somewhat healthy mind, you've got no excuse. And instead of making excuses and looking for an explanation, take the simplest teachings accessible and available to you and practice and cultivate. Work. As people oftentimes come up on and tell me, you know, get a job. I'm saying it right back to you, poppies, get a job. And this is the job of mindfulness and detachment. This is the job of emphasizing the present action of being aware rather than the present action of thinking about the things that you're aware of. To detach, to abandon, to put down, to throw away your own understanding and to listen to the Dharma teachings. Start to take refuge with some meditation masters. And that sense of unidealness or unsatisfactoriness is actually there anyway. It doesn't have anything to do with the Dharma teacher or the guided meditation. So take that unsatisfactoriness, and instead of using it to think about more things, you can go and listen to the Dharma talk. You can learn how to practice meditation seriously. You can become a monk or a nun. You can donate your land, your property, your home. You can detach. You can renounce. If you cannot detach and you really want to detach, then you can renounce. That also works very well. Actually, the guided meditation and the listening to the Dharma talk has an unsatisfactory quality because we're being untruthful. We're avoiding ourselves. We're avoiding our mind. We're avoiding our essence. So we go on avoiding and avoiding and avoiding, and then it kind of compiles into this bigger and bigger problem. But if you can accept your problem, like Master Yonghua said, and you can say, okay, I'm okay with this problem, then just go on living your life and, you know, go on about it. You accept that you have this problem and you continue. But if that problem is unacceptable to you, then you'll have to penetrate into that problem. You have to look right at it. You have to turn around while you're running away, turn around and then see the problem and then stop and let that problem hop on your back. For me, for example, there's a real fear, like a terror, like what about something really bad's going to happen? Something horrible is going to happen. Some attack is going to happen. Some great disaster is going to happen. And, that's a kind of trauma response that I think many people have. Kind of fear response, a fear of terror, a fear of fear. And we have to kind of, where's that coming from? What is that? And to look right at it. Because we have to be able to see the transparency of that, of our essence to our essence. The inseparableness of that from our essence, from the awareness. And you do need this concentration to penetrate through the bullshit of yourself and your views, such as the view of you. And if we know how to donate money, well, now we have to take a little bit more responsibility. We have to know how to donate our body and our mind. We have to know how to donate our understanding. The essential thing about donating in this way, generosity in this way, is the awareness of the giving. So in giving away your understanding, you're releasing the grasping on that understanding. That's a real giving away. If you're, giving your understanding without giving it away, then it's like you have a string or a rope attached to your understanding. And, all the while you're slowly pulling it back to you, or you pull it back to you the moment that it starts to change. So everything is changing. Everything physically is changing. Everything mentally is changing. Only one thing is not changing, and that's the ever-new impermanent nature. The only thing that's permanent is impermanence. So let's look at that impermanence. Let's watch that impermanence. If that uncomfortableness is there, well then let's face it. If that joy is there, well, then let's face it. If that body is here, then let's face it. If that mind is here, then let's face it. And remember, the Buddha, Siddhartha Gautama, he really emphasized this practice, this quality, and this way of independence. So check in, moment by moment, whenever the present moment is there, check in. So silly. To your dependency on a situation, your dependency on a view, your dependency on a construct. Come on, let's get it together. Let's step back and go into our independence, the freedom of awareness that is not contrived by notions of self and other, people and places and situations and stories and narratives and values that we hold. So I was thinking earlier about this vow, this aspiration. May I become fully enlightened in this life. May this body, this mind, these conditions be as such that I can become fully enlightened and help others become fully enlightened in this time. Yeah, slowly. Slowly, Midi Duck is a gradual. That's not how Siddhartha Gautama taught. That's how McDonald's works. McDonald's says, come on, I know you're hungry. I got a double cheeseburger right here. So Siddhartha Gautama and the teachings of Buddha are not McDonald's coded. And that sense of fear or pulling back as we go deeply into meditation, that's a good sign. We meet that, we meet that, we meet that. And our fear about fear becomes less. As Ajahn Brahm says, if you're going deep into meditation and you feel this very potent or real excitement or this potent or real fear, that's a great sign to keep going. And as long as we're concerned with the Buddha, the Dhamma, the Sangha, as long as we're concerned with mindfulness and detachment, you'd be surprised how buoyant your mental health status and how resilient you actually are. You'd be very surprised. Well, I suppose you can, CLA Chandrama, but you're going to have to become the cow and fatten yourself and butcher yourself. So that's a lot to go through. And my sleep has been quite well. I've been sleeping quite well recently. Well, there's sets and stages. So we encounter the Buddha Dhamma, and then either we meet the Buddha and the Buddha makes us enlightened, or we're recognized as a newcomer. So the first step is to be a donor, to be a serious donor. What does that mean? It means to be a serious listener. It means to be a serious volunteer. It means to be a serious show-upper. Then we take certain vows or responsibilities in our relationship of being concerned with the ending of suffering because we really show up. And that involves the taking of the precept, and that involves this interest and willingness to commit to meditation, becoming a cultivator. So you can see, are you a serious donor? Are you a serious volunteer? Are you a serious yogi? Are you a serious meditator, practitioner? Are you a serious cultivator? And then it's really more of a matter of sharing your practice of cultivation. But you could also share your practice of being a donor. You could share your practice of being as someone who follows the precepts, someone who takes the responsibility for the mind very seriously. But teaching is ultimately not about you teaching others, it's about you practicing and sharing that practice. If you have the aspiration to teach, you should to be more and more connected with the well-known advisors, the well-known teachers. You can spend some time as a monk or a nun, but really what that means is to spend some time in retreat. But it's not black and white. Actually, our hunger pains can oftentimes be related to our blood sugar. So you can, what should you use your money for? What should you use your resources for? Well, why not get some fruit and vegetables? Vegetables can be very coarse. It can be very difficult to eat a bunch of vegetables, a lot of preparation. But what I would say is you can experiment with reducing your physical food intake by a lot. And a great way to do this is go and buy some interesting looking, nice smelling vegetables, organic, if you can, whatever you can get your hands on, and some organic, some nice fruits. Put those in the fridge. Blueberries, blackberries, melons, things like that. And then get those greens, put those in the fridge. Now, for your daily diet, you can have soup. You can make a soup of a bunch of different greens together and a salt and spices, and you can drink that soup and you can eat those fruits instead of having these big meals of cheeseburgers and roasts and all these carbs and things like that. And that can be really helpful. If you're eating 3 big meals a day, watch out, be careful, because you are going to be tired. There is going to be a little bit of heaviness in the body and mind, and that's not so necessary, for your day to just be cut up into these massive meals that you're eating, these massive carb loads that you're having of bread and potatoes and things like that. Some fruits, some vegetables, some soup, some juice. You'd probably be just fine that way. Let your stomach clear out a little bit. And you don't even need to know how to cook in any way to do that. Just boil water, put the greens, put some salt. It's going to taste great. Go out for a walk outside. Cut the shit. Should I go for a walk? Is this the temperature? Is this the way? Is depressed and anxious? And how about? And where am I going to walk? Where are we? Just cut the shit and go out for a walk. And when we have these jobs and these responsibilities, it's important that there's a real ingredient of meaningfulness and joy brought to that work. Now, I'm thinking of some of our Sangha members, they may do working with people. So it goes without saying, you're sharing that energy and that joy of working with people. And then some people, maybe they're doing like a Uber driving or the eat, deliveries. Well, there you have a lot of free time to be with the air and the sunlight and the nature, to be alone. And no, I mean, we're kind of bombarded by the media that says there's something to worry about, there's something to worry about, and there is something to worry about. That is the serious situation of birth and death. But that is already the case. So do you really need to add this extra worry to that, or start leveraging that which is free from birth and death, like the clouds, like the sunlight, like the smell of the air, like the tree moving in the wind, like the green, like the natural sounds that don't come from the created involvements. This awareness doesn't have any name. Your true nature doesn't have any name. The breath that's being breathed currently doesn't have any name. And this is impersonal. This is not dualistic. This is not interpersonal, based on this thought construct in relationship to that thought construct. That's why the Dharma is the thought construct of the irrelevance or emptiness of thought constructs. So it's just like sweeping. There's a bunch of dust, innumerable pieces of dust. Sweep, 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 sweep. Don't make this into a cordial environment. Don't waste your energy here. This Dr. Rob character, he's the Dharma teacher. He's the meditation master. So you use this as a mirror to meditate, not to unnecessarily think about things. The things that you think about and bring up and bring out are necessary. Don't bring up things to talk about for the sake of talking about things. You have to get out of that habit of this interpersonal, mutual sharing. No. Meditate. And meditate so that you empty your cup. Your meditation is like a practice of giving up thoughts that come up, giving away thoughts that say you have to believe in the thoughts that come up and be involved with them. Giving away the involvements with the identity of liking and disliking in the body and liking and disliking in the mind. Go back to the meditation practice. Conversations are for distraction. We want to distract ourselves from meditating. We want to distract ourselves from the intimacy and intensity of looking directly at Dr. Rob, or Dr. Rob looking directly at his own mind and experience, or Sovereign Spirit looking at their own direct experience. This is why we get the blessings. We come here because we get the blessings. We wouldn't come here otherwise, right? Then we see later, oh my goodness, I'm really getting the blessings. But think of all that time that I wasted. Think of how greater my blessings could be if I didn't waste all that time, yes or no? So, TikTok will be there. The TikTok of what about this and what about that, and what does somebody think about this and that. That will be there. But now we don't want to waste a single moment in our cultivation, in our relationship with awareness. This is not about you. This is the guidance to return to meditation or return to non-meditation, undistracted non-meditation. Not contrite, I'm not saying sit there and try to meditate, try to focus on your breathing, but this kind of undistracted non-doing, non-meditation. Fully uninvolved, fully unaroused, fully tuning in to this processes. What is it about this processes, this experience, this youing that we don't want to see and don't want to deal with? Because that is exactly what is the glitch in the code, that resistance that keeps us from making this body and mind the way that we want it to be. How do we want to be? Probably blissful, peaceful, free, compassionate, wise. So we're going to have to hold up the mirror of the mind to the mind so that we can see what's acceptable, what's not acceptable, what's working, what's not working. But this is intuitively. It's not your ego, it's not your intellect that says, I want to be blissful, I want to be free from suffering. Your intellect's just looking for drama to be involved with, things to be involved with, some kind of stimulation. It's your nature that seeks and hungers for the limitless, for the boundless. So all of those hiccups and all of those points that make us go this way and that way have to be interfused through awareness, interpenetrated through awareness. And then it's going to work out the way that it truly we want it to work out, not the way that our ego mind is kind of rummaging through things and picking and choosing and say, well, I'd like to go and do this, I'd like to go and do that. That's all nonsense. Because the fullness of self is everything here and now, without time, without things. Because what this gives me, I say this not from, I'm Dr. Rob, I'm teaching, come on, don't ask me these stupid questions. No. This is my chance, my conditions, my opportunity for me to not waste a single second. That's the best that this is for me. So it's my invitation and encouragement to make it that way for you. And it's not really about holding each other accountable. It's just our sharing from our varying positions. Not to get frustrated by the small details. Because we can't understand. Look at the you that's meditating. Don't just sit there and try to meditate. Look at the you that is meditating. Look at the you that is trying to meditate. Don't let it hide in meditating. I'm meditating. No. Look at the I that meditates. Look at the mind. If you can't look at the mind, relax and release the whole body and mind. Breathing. Release and relax the whole body and mind into breathing, through breathing, of breathing. That we can watch that thing that was attached to disappear. Where is was going? Where is will going? Where is that going? Okay, dear Sangha, thank you all for practicing together with me today. 3.5 hours of satsang, 3.5 hours satsang. It's a good satsang, it's a good time. Please don't feel that you owe me anything. There's so much support in this gathering itself. And this gathering itself is made all the more potent by your heart, your body, your mind. And I have so much gratitude for that and giving me this opportunity and this possibility to teach and to share. Because, of course, if I was just sitting alone in my room, I wouldn't be able to practice like this, would I? So I'm very grateful. And try to continue and try to enjoy it. Yes, this is a big one that I'm trying to work on and trying to help with. This sitting with the unsatisfactory feeling of thinking that I have something else to do, that there's something to do. What a burden, what a nightmare. And what a joy for there truly to be nothing to do and nowhere to go. Okay. Thank you, friends. May all beings everywhere, especially including the members of this Sangha, of this community, may they be free from suffering. May they reach Nibbana. May they get a great slice of the pie of wisdom, of awareness without attachment. May the wishes of all the donors and benefactors be fulfilled. May they rest in their virtue. May they rest in their well-being and well-intentions. And may we as a community not only support each other and ourselves, but may we support and offer our blessings and our goodness to all beings everywhere, whether in heaven, hell, or somewhere in the middle. May all suffering come to an end right here and right now. We are all invited to do 3 sadhus together. Sadhu means well done, good job, congratulations. And we can chant that together and try to harmonize with me, all right? Sadhu. Sadhu. Okay. Thank you, everyone. Enjoy. Take care. See you again very soon. Bye-bye.